This one could be called Riggy G versus Haji Part 2. Riggy G versus Haji Part 2. I don't know when it will end because me and you, we have no control. This ping pong, Riggy G has thrown, Haji has thrown back. You don't know whether Riggy G will. It is the two who will determine. It is the two who will determine who will, when the game will end. But I want to comment. I want to use my privilege of having worked for NIS. During our time it used to be called Special Branch. I want to use that opportunity from an expert to give my views. And this thing is unprecedented. And so there is no formula. You see, if it is something that had happened, maybe you'd say we have had 5 cases of this nature, and 3 went this way, and 2 went this way. So most likely it is going to be this way. But since it is unprecedented, we have to look at it unprecedented, not only in Kenya, in very many countries. So we have to give people like me, we have to give only technical experts. Technical or expert opinion. Technical opinion, expert opinion. First of all, Haji starts, the letter is written for immediate release. Not only is it for immediate release, the letter, it is for immediate release, meaning that he did not even have time to think about it. He just reacted. I think, and that is my personal opinion, is that anybody in any authority, imagine including me, for me to say anything here, I take a minimum of 2 hours reflecting on it. You reflect, of course, to some extent I can boast and say I'm untouchable. But you see, there are some things which I avoid saying, and I would really wish to have said, but I look at the consequences. Some of these things have consequences which are national. Some of these things have consequences which are of security purpose to the citizen, to me, and even to the serving intelligence officers. So whatever you say, whatever you do, and I'm going to comment on this, and you'll see, Haji has single-handedly done more damages to the intelligence than all of us combined by even several times. But I'll come to that. I'm sorry people say that ninaruka huku na huku. That is my nature, and I have my weaknesses. Kindly try to bear with me, because there are occasions when I try to follow one point and I can't make it. I end up at the 3rd or 4th minute. That is my weakness. Just like you can thank me for having that photographical mind, that I can recall something that happened when I was in Standard 2. I have weaknesses also. Back to the letter of Haji. I can, okay, let me talk about the letter and then talk about myself and talk about others. Intelligence officers, since the time of Sinai, you know, the first time we had intelligence officers was during the Sinai. Moses sent 12 youths to go to Canaan and bring back information. That is the first case of intelligence. Earlier on, we did not have intelligence. Even God did not have intelligence. That when things were happening wrong, he had just to see the guilty consciousness of the couple to know that they had done wrong. So the first intelligence came during Moses' time, when he sent youths to Canaan to go and find the place. He had God on his side, but still he wanted the human intelligence to assist him. One problem we have had with the intelligence since the time of Sinai is that we do not have a, and that is why people come to me very much. We do not have the privilege of publicly retorting to anything. Mimi tu ni yule, I've found a lacuna and I'll talk about the lacuna. So Haji has made a treasonous mistake of answering a person. We have had problems, including I myself. I know the NIS on many occasions have hoped to react to me left, right, and center. But they have been unable, because the greatest thing to, just like a Muslim, the greatest thing a Muslim will never do is eat pork. And the greatest thing that an intelligence officer, military intelligence, external, any intelligence officer, the first thing is to discuss files. So he has discussed them, and definitely, if this thing has got to reach to Kipchirchir, this is another reason why we need a reshuffle in the NIS. And the reshuffle should be so big that in one hand, those people, those directors who are taken to desk work outside, their cover has been blown. Their cover has been blown. So there is no way they can go back to intelligence. And there is no way Haji is going to be there. He has already behaved like, it's like what he has done, if for a lack of a better excuse, what he has done is equivalent to you going to a hotel during the holy month of Ramadan, finding a Muslim not only eating, but eating pork. That is the equivalent of what he has done in the NIS. Me, I've been doing it, I've been doing whatever, but then what they say is that bahati ya mwenzio usilalie mlango wazi. I know why I've been doing it, and I'll say it here after I've finished. So him, by answering that, was very bad. Not only answering that, you see there are three things here. One, I've got a sore throat. One, the worst thing they did, one thing is that, not the worst thing they did, but in any country, for there to be such a thing that youths even enter these places. There are these places such as State House, military installations, and the parliament and the judiciary. Breaching those things, the intelligence, that one alone needs a reshuffle in the intelligence. I'm not saying that they go home, because I know what going home means to people like me. Tunakutana na mtu namwambia sina fare. I don't want them also to start telling people sina fare. They should be taken to desk in other ministries. We should have anybody from the rank of regional intelligence officer. We used to call them PSBO. Then we called them PSIOs, not PCIO, PSIOs. Now I don't know what they are called, but anybody of the rank of regional intelligence officer and above. And people who are county intelligence officers and above, especially those who are working well, hey, madaraka inakuja. That one must happen because of what Gen Z did. Someone asked me when I was saying, supposing the NIS had told the president, and the president ignored. My friend, that is what we call professional hazards. Anybody who advises the people in authority, when things go bad, you will not go and remove. Haji, I'm trying to remember a case where it has happened in Kenya. One day I'll tell you. You don't now go to the records and start saying, you see, this day I briefed the president this and then. No. These are professional hazards that the person, it has happened to us. It has happened to us. There's even an occasion when somebody came to the police station complain, unywaji wa changani nyingi, and then we made raids, we arrested those people. Then it was on Moi Day, 10th of December. The same politician was saying, sasa wamama wetu wanapika kachangani ndio wasomeshe watoto. So we have these professional hazards where you advise a person in authority that we are going this way, and the person in authority goes this way, and then the person in authority just says, without blinking the eye, this is the first time I'm knowing it, and let me talk this way. And I'm sure I'm talking to people who are standard 4 and above. Those in authority, even though we can say, okay, why didn't the intelligence do that? But then those in the authority were here. They saw everything they were doing. And they have the, what do you call, the normal government advisors, and they even their own private advisors. When Kibaki was the president, and he wanted anything to do with the police, he would formally go to the police commission and ask. But informally, he would ask Mr. Washira, Duncan Washira, former police boss, so he could compare. So even if the intelligence officers or other advisors give you advice, you also have your own, what do you call, source of finding. And you also stay in this country. But then, as I keep on repeating, saying, whatever will happen, heads will roll. And the first head to roll is Haji. Yes, I talked of 3 things. The events that happened is enough to make heads roll. And a lot of heads. There is going to be a very big... Some people even asked me about this fellow called Adala. Why did he shoot himself and whatever? I said I even didn't know the person. So I think I can now connect the points. I can now connect the points. It is quite possible that people like Adala were frustrated. I'm talking that from out of the service. Those in the service may be in a better position to tell that. In his letter, Haji is trying to put Ruto under the bus. That is a big mistake. It's a big mistake. As I've said, when things go bad, advisors go. Whether, it goes to an extent. Let me give you 2 examples. You gave the boss advice. He ignored. You didn't give the boss advice. In both cases, things go bad, isn't it? Then the boss says, JI-TENGE did not give me the advice. Do you want to tell me that I'll go and take the microphone and say, Mheshimiwa Kumbuki, that Wednesday, Saflani, I rang you. Kwanza, you are the one who called me, and we went. You cannot do that. So, if you read between the lines, and I would request you to get the letter and read it word by word. He says that NIS is answerable to the president as the commander-in-chief. And there is no deputy commander-in-chief, which is true. But you'll see, I don't know whether it is the new constitution or it is the activities that happened after the new constitution, the 2010 started. The vice president or the deputy president is a receiver of intelligence, by virtue of his office. And I can tell you this. Somebody told me that whenever I talk, he takes it to the bank. Not a commercial bank, not even the Central Bank of Kenya, but to the World Bank. I tell you, take this to the world. I take it to the World Bank. The only reason that William Samoei Ruto did not resign as a deputy president, the only reason was that by resigning as a deputy president, he had cut himself off in flow of intelligence. So it is quite laughable for the Director General of Intelligence to say that the NIS is answerable to the president as the commander-in-chief. The NIS, I can tell you, I used to be there during the old constitution, but the current constitution, the NIS is answerable. It's a two-headed snake, if I can call it, or two-headed monster, or two-headed whatever. Siamese twin, eh? They have 2 legs, 4 hands and 2 heads. The NIS is answerable to the president as the commander-in-chief. And the NIS is answerable to, NSAC, National Security and Advisory Committee. They are answerable to that. And the deputy president has a right as a member of the NSAC to get the intelligence. So telling him you are a stranger or anything, and you know, forgive me, some people even tell me that I talk things which I'm not supposed to talk. Like then I said JM Karaoke, when they killed JM Karaoke, they did not do a good job. I'm talking as a professional. Where we have intelligence officers, you are not supposed to talk the way he had talked. Now, he has said that the president, he is answerable to the president. So he's trying to say, if you read between the lines, come on. Are you sure we did not tell the president? Because he say the NIS is answerable to the president as commander-in-chief, and NIS, when you will follow its chain of command, it is not answerable to the deputy president. So he's trying to say, Riggy G, are you aware of what we told the president? Now, when you say, Riggy G, are you aware of what we told the president? You are trying to say that we may have told the president of the problem that we are having. Now, will the president come and now say and retort and say, no, I was not told, or whatever. So you can see, when you fight, and that is what I was saying, I talk some things which I'm not supposed to say. When you fight with a madman, you are the one who is mad, isn't it? So when you fight, when you are an intelligence officer and you fight with a politician, now he has dragged in the president by trying to say, look here, all our reports are taken to the president as the commander-in-chief, not the deputy president. So he's trying to say, are you sure that we didn't tell the president? Because if our mandate said that we report to the deputy president and we report to the president, then you are aware of what we reported, isn't it? But since our mandate, we do not report to the deputy president, we report to the president. How sure are you? How sure are you that we didn't tell the president? So this dragging in of the president, Haji, hey, you are going to be, what do you call, CAS, I'm assistant minister. Point number 2 was unnecessary. When he said, the point number 2 that Haji said, he said, as NIS, could he be worried that NIS has IRs on him, intelligence reports on him? I'm quiet because I don't know how to respond that. We were taught, I want to go back to 1984, November. We were taught that you could get somebody who who has thousands and thousands of reports against, but you act naturally. Because supposing you are very close to the president, And then suddenly, we have thousands of reports on you. If I start keeping off you, you'll start suspecting and you'll start investigating, isn't it? So we were taught that you don't insinuate anything. Now you see, could he be worried that NIS has intelligence reports on him? That was unnecessary and that was stupid thing, I must say. Let me go to point number 3. Point number 3 said deputy director, when he left the NIS to be the DPP, he was the deputy director. It goes to agree with what Riggy G said. It goes to agree with what Riggy G said, and it also goes to agree with what I said, that deputy director is number 3, then director is number 2, and director general is number 1. So we have here two stories of the same story, and that one also goes to number 4, when he says that when he brings in the question of tribalism, he says he's trying to insinuate that the NIS has now targeted Kikuyu tribe. He has targeted. When anybody does anything, it is true that 66% of prisoners in Kamiti are Kikuyus, but there is no time when Kikuyus planned to be crooks. So when he says that you are doing something because of your tribe mates have been transferred out of there, are you trying to say that you transferred those people out of intelligence because they were Kikuyus? Haji, you are trending on dangerous grounds. You are trading on a dangerous ground. Those are things that I remember when I was in the intelligence, they used to happen. They used to happen that intelligence officers used to talk on room 15. But mimi kama na wazimu yangu, I used to be the one who used to tell the bosses that this is what is happening. But you don't put that one in writing. You just comment it. But when you just say that, now you have become the Kikuyu's enemy. I want to say this, and I want to repeat it, that what has happened, it would be good for the country for Haji to go. It would be good for the country. Those directors, now we know that they are Kikuyus, those directors whom Haji transferred out, and Riggy G says that they were transferred out because of inferiority, and Haji answers and says, no, we transferred them out because they are loyal to you. They will not come back. I think it is the right time now to groom people, to take over. He has said that the deputy president is trying to preempt. He's trying to preempt the intelligences that they have gathered on him. That's very unfortunate. I can't talk there. So, for the good of the country, we should have a reshuffle. Is it possible? Is it possible to have the cream of the intelligence? What I would say is that sorry, I have a privilege of on one hand, I have access to information, and on the other side, I have the possibility of talking. We would be doing this country a great favor if everybody of the rank of Assistant Director of Intelligence goes home. I do not even know a single one, so I'm only saying everybody of the rank of Assistant Director, all of them go home. All the directors except one, all directors except one the director of external intelligence. But all other directors of administration, director of the training school, the director of training, the director of all of them should go home, plus the director general. The question now comes, is it possible to have somebody, a junior person, say county intelligence officer, to be the director of intelligence? Yes. Yes. Let me tell you one thing. And let me give you an example of the National Police Service. When the position of a deputy inspector general is vacant, or the office of the inspector general is vacant, they say anybody of the rank of assistant inspector general can apply, meaning everybody of that position. Now let us take an example. When did Gedhi become the head of the GSU? He was a chief inspector, he became a superintendent, he became the head of what? GSU. Let us take the example of Sieke. Sieke was the OCPD Molo. He was made the commandant presidential escort, and then he became director of operations. Any gazetted officer in the police office, police or any can make it. And any intelligence officer of the rank of county intelligence officer. But I have to put one thing here. That person who was going to be made the director general should serve for minimum of 7 years and a maximum of 10 years. Yes. So, Bwana Haji, you made it really bad. You should not have come out and started talking. The intelligence officers, our cardinal rule, I'll repeat it, our cardinal rule, just like Muslims, their cardinal rule is don't even touch pork. We as intelligence officers, we do not discuss contents of the intelligence reports. Lastly, and I said I'll come about myself, why do I say these things? What do I say? I use a certain lacuna. Actually, my lacuna is also a two-headed snake or two-headed monster. First and foremost, when you leave service, you have to take an oath that what you found here, what you saw here, what you heard here, what the 5 senses, isn't it? When you live here, leave them here. That is what we were taught. So when you are leaving, you sign that. But because I had shouted, Kibaki oye, Kibaki oye, so you nini, I was being chased so quickly that they even forgot to give me that. The other, I said those are two-headed monster. I never signed those letters to gag me. I never signed. And that is why I've never blamed any intelligence officer for not coming out, because he or she may have signed. That is one head of the monster. The other head of the monster is, and that is what Noordin Haji has said. You see, he's saying Riggy G is worried because some of the things, some of the things that he may be aware of, some of the intelligence that we have been. So he's confirming that they have placed Nani as a target. Riggy G. Big mistake. It's just as big mistake as he said that, it's just as big mistake as he said, how sure are you that we have not been telling the president? You die for your boss. Take these people who are presidential escort. You remember Saitoti? He repeatedly used to tell the wife of the inspector that be ready to be a widow, because he knew that that inspector would take a bullet for him. So when you are an advisor to somebody in authority, you take the bullet for that person. You take the bullet for that person. Whether you like it or not, you take a bullet for that person. So Noordin Haji has already insinuated that these things, the way they were happening, how come, I mean, don't you think we may have told the president? And on and on and on. Let another one answer each, and then I go to part 3. Thank you.